Saturday, May 5th, 2007, and we're at the Armes residence. Let's go in and see what's happening. I asked Grandma to tell me about Ivan. Today is his birthday, if he were still alive. Born in 1915. You say Ivan was born in 1915.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I don't know how old he would be today.
92.
92. Yeah, so that's pretty old. But I remember when he was born, I think it was on Lee Street, and Henry was here, and Irene was playing with Farmer Matches, and Henry happened to be here, but Irene was playing with these Farmer Matches, and one of them flipped over on the bed and caught Mom's hair on fire, and if Henry hadn't been here that day, her hair wouldn't have caught on fire. But he jumped up right away and smothered it with his hands and put the fire out.
Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyone get in trouble?
No, nobody got a whipping for it, but he sure bowled around about it. But it was, let's see, Pauline is just a little bit older than Irene, 10 minutes older than Irene when they were born.
And Irene and Pauline are her twin sisters.
So that's why Irene always says today that she's the youngest of the Crutcher family. And she is.
By 10 minutes.
By 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's about all I can remember.
What about the, tell me about the lake house.
The lake house.
When did you buy the lake house?
I didn't buy it. It belonged to Jack.
Oh, okay.
And you don't buy property up there. You just rent it from the city.
Oh, I see.
But you pay taxes on it. You pay taxes on the land.
Oh, I see.
No, you never get to own a place up there.
Oh.
But the cabin is yours as long as you pay taxes on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I had that. I had all glassed in. It was all just screens before, but I had when I got up there, when Jack died and I was willed the property, I had the combination storm windows and screens put up all around the front porch. That made it better. Of course,
yeah.
You sleep out there on the porch. I made it a bedroom, you see.
Oh, that was nice. You had a boat? Did you have a little rowboat or something?
We had a aluminum rowboat.
Yeah. How was the fishing?
Fishing was pretty good. I think, well, Jack never did like to fish, but Walter Armes, he loved to fish up there. He sat there on that, it was a 50-foot pier, and a ladder at the end of the pier. And he'd sit there all day to fish. And he really got a sunburn on his bald head.
Did my father, Harold Jr., build or rebuild that pier?
No.
He didn't do anything with it?
No, Jack had that done when he worked at the shop, you know.
Oh, I see.
It was before Harold Jr.'s time.
Oh. I remember my mom and dad talking about spending time at the lake house.
Yeah.
It was one of their favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Jack didn't fish, why did he want the property?
Well, it belonged to his wife's folks.
Oh, I see. So
that
it was passed down and down.
Yeah, it was passed down
Oh.
that way.
Any idea when the place was built? When did?
No, I
No?
don't know.
Way back, huh?
But there wasn't too many trees up there then.
This is Lake Bloomington
But
we're
now the
talking
place
about.
is just loaded with trees. I understand.
About 20 miles north of Bloomington City. And they use it for
And,
city water as a reservoir.
It used to be Lake Bloomington had a backwash on the south side of the cabin.
Yeah.
But now Pam calls it the Cove.
Oh.
It's the Cove across from where they live now. That house where Pam and Dave live was burned down, the old place, the
Oh.
Green Gables, you know. But and the sheriff used to be sheriff of Bloomington. He lived there at that time. But that place burned down, and then they moved back to Bloomington, and then the Swearengers was their names,
Yeah.
and so they moved back to Bloomington, I guess, and then later on, our place was rebuilt, and Pam and Dave got the benefits of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pam and Dave Merrill live there now.
yeah,
And it's been remodeled and rebuilt for the most part.
yeah.
There's a small section that's original, they tell me.
Right,
But most of it was lost in the fire.
right.
Yeah. Tell me about how you met my grandfather, Harold Sr. You told me something about meeting him at the elevator, and he wouldn't leave. Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's because he got involved with Ivan's intended wife, Betty.
Oh.
He went to visit her after Harold Jr. Left, and he went to Betty's place where she lived on. Well, Betty and Betty Armes and her sister and brother lived in a place that their father rented for them, and they lived there, and Betty took care of them. But Ivan thought, well, if Harold thought if Ivan could get to her, well, maybe he could too. So you know, he'd been like that all his life. But no, she didn't. She wouldn't let him bother her at all.
Yeah.
But she did. I remember she did say she kissed him on the cheek. But she told me about it later on.
Oh.
And he was disturbed about it. He said it's a goddamn lie.
Uh-huh.
That's what he said. I don't believe it myself.
But then he started making his move on you, right?
Well,
You down at the bank?
at the bank.
At the bank, you were the elevator operator.
Right.
Yeah. And he
Well,
said,
I was the elevator operator until I became pregnant with Harold Jr. So,
but before that, you met him at the elevator, or he met you or saw you at the elevator and said he wouldn't leave until you agreed to a date. Is that how the story goes?
yeah, I didn't trust him after that.
Uh-huh.
But when I run the elevator, that was when the old State Farm building was being built across the road, across the street from where the elevator was.
And what street was it on?
Washington.
Washington Street, okay.
And I watched that thing being built to as high as the elevator would go, the 5th floor.
Oh,
I watched it being built, the old State Farm building.
I'll be darned. And before that, it was the State Farm insurance got started in the downstairs office suite of some other building in a small corner.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then eventually they took over that building, or they had one built.
Yeah. And the Castle Theater was down the street from me a little bit. Sometimes after I got off work, I would go to the Castle show before I would go home.
Oh.
And if there's a good movie on,
What did movies cost?
Oh, 25 cents.
25 cents? Was that a double feature ever? Did they ever show two for that price?
Well, the other urban theater has a little bit. It was a more expensive theater to go to. I think I don't know just what the price. I don't remember what the price was on that. But Gone with the Wind is what I remember mostly about the urban theater.
Oh.
Gone with the Wind. Margaret Mitchell wrote that story.
Yes.
Well, every time it come back to Bloomington, I always went to see Gone with the Wind. So sometimes it was shown on TV, and I would watch it on the TV when I got TV.
But
A great life, James.
how did you and Harold Sr. get together?
How did we get together?
Yeah. How did you start dating?
Well, I promised him that I would date him again after he had that rendezvous with Betty.
Okay.
That's what we had.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what date that was.
I remember you telling me that when he first saw you, he would come in to the elevator, and he said, "I'm not going to leave here until you agree to a date." And he rode up and down on that elevator with you for a long time, I think.
Before I promised him
Yeah.
that I would see him again.
So he was persistent.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your second husband was Charlie?
Right.
Yeah.
Charles Matt.
Charles Matt, okay.
He was the greenskeeper at Bloomington Country Club. And I made salads out there then. But anyway, he was the greenskeeper of the Bloomington Country Club. He was a helper to Frank Sunday, he was the greenskeeper. He was the manager of the golf course. And Charlie got to drive a little truck around the yard, around the green,
Yeah.
keep the grass mowed good.
And there weren't many trees there.
No, not too many.
Now there are.
But there was a little lake out there then, but it wasn't very big.
So he started seeing you, and eventually you got married to him.
Yeah.
What?
They used to sit at my table right there by the salad department. And that's what I told him. I said, "Charlie, you know what you need? You need a good woman to take care of you." And after that, why, he didn't get to come inside, work inside. They hired him. The Rileys, John Riley, was the managers at that time.
Okay.
So they hired Charlie for the houseman. He took care of the floors and rearranged chairs and things like that for big parties that they would have out there.
So that was a bit of a promotion for him.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But they had a milkman when they brought the milk. He brought the milk. They would call to Charlie. He says, "Charlie, that milkman's here. You better come and watch him." So he would come into the kitchen and get a cup of coffee and stand there at the end of the cooking range and wait right there until the new milkman would leave. He just liked to sit back there and talk to me. Nothing conspired there.
Mm-hmm.
And with the grocery person that we ordered grocery from, he always liked to talk to me back there too.
Yeah,
I don't know. The men always liked to come to my corner. I don't know why, but they did.
Well, you were a fox. They thought you were hot. Yeah. Well, that's what you said, that every one of your husbands lived here in this house at 904 East Walnut Street. Every one of your husbands eventually moved in with you here at 904 East Walnut.
I lived. None of them had any children.
None of them had any kids.
No, Charlie didn't have any children. Well, and of course Jack
didn't have any. I know Walter didn't.
And Walter, Walter had. There was Ruby, and Louis, and Betty and Barbara, and then because Ruby had a son by the name of Ronnie Cole. And he thought he was related to us, but he's no relation there at all. But it was spelled the same way, C-O-L-E.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ruby's, well, her husband died, I think, Steve. And I think she's in a nursing home now.
Oh.
Or she's being taken care of some way out there in California.
Okay.
Or maybe she's dead, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard either. I don't know anything about him.
Betty and her husband, A.T., came back to Illinois and visited me one time when Chris was here cutting the grasses. And he told me about it. She told me about him. He wouldn't let her come in until she told him who she was. Oh, she said. So he come to the door with her, and I didn't recognize her. Of course, after you get older, you don't. You don't
people change. That's right.
So after she talked a little bit, I said, "Oh, buddy." Yeah. And she was telling me about her sister Barbara having cancer, lung cancer, and I don't know whether she's dead or alive yet to this day.
Oh. Yeah. Don't know.
I like Betty, though. Harold Jr. liked Betty, too. He thought maybe he'd get to go with her, but she was more interested in some other guy, H.E. Atchison Topeka.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Atchison, he didn't like that name, so they just, A.T.
Uh-huh.
He was a swell guy. I liked him.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. I guess if Harold wasn't persistent waiting right there until I said I would go with him, I wouldn't have had you today.
That's right. His persistence paid off, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or I wouldn't be here. It's funny how things work out that way.
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed most of my life, James. The important times in my life now are you.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
and you.
Yeah.
What stands out as being some of your best moments?
My best moments?
I know that.
Well, after all my husbands all died, I started seeing a friend called Glenn Burkall.
Uh-huh.
And I messed around with him for quite a few times, and he finally got sick. He had sugar diabetes,
Oh.
and he entered the hospital. I saw in the paper where he was entered in the hospital, but he had married after. He wanted me to marry him. I said, no, I've had too many husbands already. So after that, I saw in the paper where he got married because the marriage license was in the paper.
Oh yeah.
And then later on, he wasn't married very long. It was still in the paper again where he had died.
Oh.
And he was buried in Michigan. His folks lived in Michigan. But he had a little place south in Hayworth, I think it was, that I remember buying him a pair of long underwear for his Christmas present. I said, you get men things like that. I said, well, he needed them.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, it's a great life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed most of my life. Yeah. But that's the last band I ever was with Glenn Brokaw.
Yeah.
He was a good looker.
Oh, yeah?
Real
Yeah.
good looker. Yeah. I finally threw the pictures away and didn't want anybody else to have it.
Yeah.
And he took me, he had a nice big truck. He had a truck too. And I remember he took me to Aldi's, not Aldi's, but Arby's. And we parked out in front and had a sandwich and some Coke. I had a Coke there. I didn't want to go inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember your first car? I remember you used to drive way back when I was a little boy and visited when I was around 5 years old. You had a Ford station wagon, didn't you?
Yeah. It was a white-colored Ford.
Is that the one? Is that the same car where I think you said Walter got going really fast? You crawled in the back seat. No, it was another car, wasn't it? Somebody else had done that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
That I what?
Somebody was driving real fast and got up to about 80 miles.
That was Jack.
Was it Jack?
Yeah. And I crawled over in the back seat. I was scared.
Yeah, it's going 80 miles an hour.
He had a Chevrolet.
Oh.
And it was going 80 over 85 miles an hour, and I thought that was too fast. I was scared to death, so I crawled over in the back seat. I laid down back there till we got to the cabin. Well, I think he had had a few drinks. That's why I was afraid.
Oh.
But he could drive all right, but he was just driving too fast
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor, I had a lot more fun, I guess, than any of them put together. He was more of an outstanding man than any of the others.
Uh-huh.
Even your father.
Yeah. Well, go through the siblings that you had. Tell me who your siblings were in the order they were born. Who was the oldest? That was.
Yeah. The Penns, Joe Penn. But I don't remember those guys. I mean, Joe and Wally and the Blackfords.
She's talking about her neighbors now.
But what you call didn't remember them. I don't know why, because she said that she remembered Bo. Of course, I don't. There were so many little kids that used to come up to Petville, you know.
Yeah, Bo was her collie that she had in the early 1970s, and she's talking about the neighbors.
I still have place her face.
She had a caregiver yesterday. Pat was her name.
Unless she knew the Wilcoxes that lived in back of me.
And the caretaker, Pat, who lived here in this neighborhood for 16 years.
She lived down there on the Carseway. She said, wonder why I didn't get mixed up with her.
Oh.
She finally married this Gary Wilcox that lives in the back.
Oh, yeah, the Wilcox. My dad used to play with them.
And then Harold Wilcox had a farm south of here. And one time he brought some roasting ears here. And he brought them for Harold. Harold Jr. hadn't had any sweet corn for a long time. You know?
Yeah.
So he brought these roasting ears and gave them to Harold. Harold, he wouldn't eat any of them, but he sat right there and watched Harold Jr. eat the roasting ears.
Yeah, my dad really liked sweet corn. Yeah. He loved Illinois corn more than anything.
I did too.
Yeah. Tell me about your siblings, your brothers and sisters. Can you tell me who was born first?
Your
Your sister was born first, wasn't she?
yeah. First there was well, there was two boys. Joe, he died in infancy. And then there's Henry.
Oh yeah, your older brother Henry. That's right.
Henry. And then there was Louis. And then Violet. And then me. I was number 5. And then Ivan. And then Ralph and Junior.
Yeah, Dave Jr.
Dave Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who was before him? Ralph?
Huh?
Who was before Dave Jr.? Who came before Dave Jr.?
Oh, Ralph.
Ralph, huh? I guess I never knew him.
Well, Ralph, he came back as psychoneurotic when he was in the army.
Was he in World War I?
Yeah.
Oh,
And he said, I'm in the land where I was born, and I wish to God I was in the land where I was born. He used to write letters to me until they came back. And Charlie, Matt, I was married to Charlie at the time when then he came home. And Charlie carried him up the side steps of the house where the folks lived up here on Walnut Street.
oh,
Picked him up bodily and carried him up those side steps.
wow.
He was strong,
Wow.
Charlie was. But he got so hot at times. Ralph would stand in front of the refrigerator door and try to cool off, and he wore their refrigerator out by standing in front of the door.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's just too hot all the time.
Yeah. One time Mom couldn't get him out of the bathroom. She told me to come up. She said, I can't get him out of the bathroom. I went up there and I opened the door. He shut the door real quick, And I said, Ralph, you come out of there. Mom's scared. She doesn't want you to stay in there. So he finally came out.
Yeah. Huh.
I think Ralph was the best looking of the boys.
Well, Dave Jr., I knew him, of course. He was pretty handsome.
Oh yeah, he was good looking.
Uh-huh.
Dave was all right. He was a good looking brother. But he was a blonde. And Ralph had dark, curly hair. Yeah. Violet and Ralph were the only two that had curly hair. Violet used to have real long hair.
Oh, I've only ever known her with short hair. Yeah.
All the rest of us was short haired.
Yeah, were you? Mm-hmm.
That's about all. That's about all.
Do you remember when Harold Jr. and Pete Beardsley used to play here and around the neighborhood?
Oh, yeah, they would.
What?
Violet would come over almost every week to have beans and cornbread with me, and the kids liked that. But she'd come over every week to eat with me, and I'd have beans and cornbread that day for the kids.
Now, they probably enjoyed that.
Yeah, they did.
You told me that my dad and a bunch of the kids in the neighborhood drove a big heavy nail or a spike into the telephone pole across the street and hung a basketball hoop there.
They played basketball under the streetlight.
In 19...
Well, it wasn't dark when they played, of course, but they used to play up here on the corner and basketball.
Yeah, you. When I was here in 1996, you told me that story, and it was a year after my dad had passed away, and you sent me over there to see if the spike was still in the pole.
Oh,
and it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, that pole has seen some weather.
Yeah.
It could probably tell quite a few stories itself, if it could talk.
Yeah. I think I've told about everything I know, James.
Okay, well, I'll let you get We'll take a break.
Okay.
Okay. Marinara sauce, huh? You weren't too coordinated today over there.
Ice cream.
The root beer float. I probably left the straws in the car.
Now that's straw, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want a straw.
Yeah, they didn't give me mine. I'll take it.
Is it getting warmer out?
Mm-hmm. It's about 72 out. Looks like it's going to rain any minute. Take the lid off there. There's a root beer float. Take a drink, I guess. Pretty good, huh?
Put that in the chair.
Hey.
Oh, we didn't know. Oh. Yeah, popcorn.
Oh. I made popcorn last night and she ate every bit of it. Hadn't had it in many years. Forgot what it tasted like almost.
Shall we take a ride?
Yeah. Let's go. Want to?
I don't know. Better not pooping my pants. When
Yeah, those glasses look good on you. Even if they are just readers.
well, they're not doctors, so they're just a magnifying glasses.
Yeah.
They belong to Janet.
Yeah, she got you a Power 3. They're about the strongest you can get. They're about the strongest you can get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're a magnifying glass. Right there. I can see it right there.
You can see the fence over there across the street. And my rental car.
That must be Charlie's car over there.
Yeah, it's parked almost around the corner.
I don't know whether they've got dogs in the backyard or not. Can you tell?
No, I haven't heard or seen any.
The Williams, you haven't seen him. Oh, well. I hardly ever raise this blade here. I don't raise this shade.
You don't raise that one.
I don't.
No, the shade to the east here. She doesn't raise this one. Yeah, I know. We're supposed to get rain later this afternoon. Yeah.
You can't depend on the weather, ma'am.
No.
I don't think it'll rain.
They say thunderstorms tonight, clearing tomorrow. chance of sun?
No, I can't hear the thunderstorms. If it thunders or lightnings during the night, that means that my microwave oven will go out.
It might, yeah. Yeah. Well, for now,
I don't use it anyway.
your clock is set for now.
Huh?
It's working for now.
Yeah. Where'd that car come from? I haven't seen Kirk or Carol for a long time.
Oh, I haven't seen them the last 2 times I was here, even. Wonder if they still live there.
Yeah, oh yes, they do.
Yeah. What about their daughter, Anna? Does she ever come around? Their daughter?
What?
Do their daughter ever come around?
No. She rides a bicycle now.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Chris yet?
Not since I've been here.
Why don't you call him up?
I called him, if you may be able to get some time next week. We may go to dinner next week. He's at, in Carlinsville
On
with Lori.
Niles.
No, south of that. Niles is in Hayworth.
Oh, okay.
Carlinsville, where Lori lives.
Oh,
He's with his girlfriend.
today?
Yeah.
He says once is enough for him.
I wonder if Crutcher will ever get married again. You don't think so?
He said not.
I know,
You never know.
that's what he said. You never know.
She's a nice person.
I haven't met her. Do you like her?
I like her. You've met her.
No.
You'll like her.
She's a blonde lady, huh? Got blonde hair?
She's nice looking.
Yeah.
Very sensible person.
Well, that's the kind he needs. Have you heard from Joe Sokobiak?
Not. He never calls me, but he does write me letters sometimes. And he still lives where he was.
In
He
Washington.
can't find a place, he said.
No? Ah, that's better information than I've got.
We don't. He doesn't write to me.
No.
Only once in a great while.
Yeah, about once a year he writes to me.
Yeah.
He was living in Port Angeles, Washington.
What?
And then he moved somewhere. Sequim, Washington. Is that where he's living?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, I wish those people would come out so I could see who they were.
They haven't moved in yet. They've only moved the furniture out yesterday. Nobody's living there yet.
Oh, no one's living there now.
No one has moved in yet. They moved furniture out of the house yesterday.
Oh, they moved out of the house.
Yeah.
And nobody has moved in yet.
Not yet.
Maybe they'll do some moving in today.
Maybe in a day or two, yeah. There's an old sofa on the curb. I guess they'll be taking that away. The city will probably come by and get that old sofa. They left a Davenport out on the curb.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. They must not want that anymore.
I wonder somebody hasn't picked it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen what it looks like up close. The people who lived there were in that house for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, not as long as me, though. I saw them when they moved in. That used to be a little old short dumpy shack right there on the corner. Years and years and years ago. No building at all. And that house there, the east side of the foundation fell through.
Oh.
And they had to come back and fix it again.
Did the house cave in when that happened?
The house caved in on the foundation part. Caved in.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen to this house.
It might someday. Walt thinks it. He thinks it will pretty soon. But I had this concrete man come out and they did that side, but Walt said when he's down, you can see daylight through.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad.
And that's they still got the cats under here too.
Oh.
They like this front porch.
Yeah, the cats do.
One of them, the first batch that I noticed, one of them got so friendly, she just up in my lap, you know. I petted her, of course.
Oh.
But pretty soon the mailman came and I said, would you open the doors and chase this cat out? He no sooner opened the door and she jumped down and went out herself.
Yeah, probably with the tail between the legs,
But
running off.
She would have liked to stay, I think, but I didn't want to. You saw you get one cat, you get several more.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Every 6 months for a cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
They can turn them out, can't they?
I didn't know how they mature so soon, so quick. I don't know how they can't understand that. But it takes a person 9 months.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's that?
That's Charlie, I think.
Well, maybe. They were white.
I think there's still a white lady that lives in. Hello. Why don't you walk next door and knock on the front door, see if anybody comes to the door.
Okay.
Just to find out if they're home or not.
See if Kirk and Carol are home.
They always come to the front door when someone goes in.
Do they?
I'm kind of worried about them.
Okay. Well, I'll go see.
Okay.
Okay.
Take some tape with you and just tape it on the door.
There's nobody home over there. They sure fixed that shack up nice, didn't they? Remember the old dilapidated house that was there? Remember how it used to look? How run down and vacant the place was?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really fixed it up nice.
Yeah, they did. They got a concrete driveway there now, I think, too.
Oh, I'll have to
Used
look
to be
at that.
dirt.
Yeah.
There's just 2 women that live there, I think. White women.
Oh.
And they're gone. They both work, I think. The house is empty all day long. Huh.
Were there a lot of horse and buggies when you were little?
Huh?
Was there a lot of horse and buggies when you were little? When you were growing up, was there a lot of horse and buggies when you were growing up?
Was there a lot of what?
Horses and buggies.
No.
Were there many cars?
Well, the cars were just beginning to come into view. There's the Ford Touring mostly. Ford cars
Oh,
was the first ones.
so did a lot of people around here have barns and stables for their livestock, for horses and stuff?
I didn't see that.
Your street used to be brick, didn't it? I remember
It's
as a little
got
boy there was brick street.
They concreted over it. Not concrete.
Well, there's still some brick streets around.
Yeah,
The next street over is still brick.
I think White's place still have brick. I'm not sure.
Yeah. They're having a track meet at the high school. I can hear the announcer. They're having a track meet. They're having a track event
Oh yeah, they
at
do.
the high school.
Yeah. Yeah, during the school week, but there's the classes, sometimes the teacher and the pupils come up this street.
Oh,
And the teachers take the pupils out. And I guess I think they go as far as Franklin Park and then come back, I think.
what do you think they do?
They just
Field trip?
watching, looking at the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if there's any blacks on this side of the street anymore.
No, I haven't
We
seen
used
any.
to didn't have any black, but one that was Boykins, I think.
No, I haven't seen any.
No. That's just that popcorn.
Yeah. I haven't seen the neighbor across the street at all. There's a lot of activity at the Williams house after midnight, every night. There's people over there around 2 o'clock in the morning at the Williams.
I think they work somewhere. I think they work someplace.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I don't see anybody in the daytime. The place really comes alive around 2 a.m.
There's not as much traffic over there as there used to be.
No, no. I think the grandson moved out. I haven't seen him. He's probably in jail.
Yeah. I think she still lives there, though.
Yeah, I saw the old lady.
But she's getting up in age too, you know.
Yeah, she had a cane and wasn't moving too quick. You would beat her in a race.
Mrs. Williams, Charles Williams,
Who lives next door on this side, on the east?
Zuanga, Marshall Zuanga.
That's a funny name.
Yeah,
Zuagua. I never see anyone there either. Just a dog. She had a big dog.
yeah. It's one girl, one woman lives there,
Oh,
but she has it's a man that comes and takes care of the dog, and he takes care of her yard for her. He cuts the grass in the front. So I don't know who it is, whether somebody where she works or who, I don't know. We don't talk either. She takes that dog and goes up to her and goes on that Constitution Trail
oh yeah.
with him. And sometimes they come back and they come up my driveway and then to the house. That's the only time I ever see her. And they're always running.
Really?
Running.
I thought she was a...
She's nice looking.
Was she?
Yeah.
Is she? That's not the person I'm thinking of. The woman I remember
Marshall
seeing.
Zuanga. ZOO 1 WANGA Zuanga.
Wow. That's
I wouldn't have known if the mailman told me
Oh.
the name.
That
bushes out in the front.
that hackberry tree is messy. Your hackberry tree is very messy.
Huh?
The hackberry tree is very messy.
Oh, yeah.
It leaves stuff all over the car and all over the street and all over your yard.
It's a messy tree.
Messy tree.
The city won't cut it down. They said if it's to be cut down, the county will have to do it.
Oh. Well, what did the county say about it? They aren't going to do it.
But it does give me a little shade sometimes in the summertime.
Yeah. Has a nice straight trunk. The trunk is nice and straight. That tree's trunk is nice and straight. That's a nice looking trunk. The trunk of the tree is straight.
Yeah, oh yeah. Walter planted that tree.
Yeah. It was just a stick at the time.
I come from out of Missouri. That tree took a trip from Missouri. It was a little tiny tree. He planted 4 of them over there, 2 on one side and 2 on the other.
Uh-huh.
And when Mom moved there, she had them all cut down but one. And when these people moved here, they cut that one out and grubbed out the roots and planted another tree.
Yeah, I see it, that little tiny one there.
No, it's...
That one right there.
The tree they planted is on the west side.
Yeah, I see it there. We're looking due south, so that would be west. It finally stopped raining. Yeah, I guess it's time to put another tape in.